Hey folks, this is Sam Roberts.
Hey, this is Kim Mitchell.
This is Hannah Georges.
This is Matt Lee.
This is Derry Graham from Honeymoon Suite, and you are listening to...
And you're listening to
The
Hulk Caesar Show.
Welcome to the Hulk Caesar Show. I am your host, Hulk Caesar. My illustrious co-host, Newfoundland songbird Emily Malloy, is once again away on assignment, making beautiful people of television even more beautiful. We pine for her return to us. Tonight's guest is the producer and host of Taking Action, a local St. John's-based podcast focused on sharing the stories of incredible people who are taking action every day. He also has a new podcast studio venture, and he's working on a new kind of dating app. Michael Allan, welcome to the Hulk Caesar Show.
Thank you so much for having me.
A little later on, we'll be joined by our musical guest, the amazing performer Natasha Blackwood, who's also brought a friend on a band instrument. We don't get a lot of band instruments this way, so pretty exciting. That's going to be a real treat. Michael, Taking Action highlights local stories from St. John's. What was your goal when you first started out the show?
That's a great question. I think my main goal was to highlight the local experts that we have here in the province.
So what's kind of your format?
What do you mean by format?
For your show, like what is your show for someone who's never heard it?
I love just the open conversation. It's not so much a Q&A. We have our guests come on and then we basically just have a conversation, long format conversation.
Is there a certain focus to it, or is it people from sort of all around?
There's definitely a Newfoundland focus, and we're also niched into entrepreneurship as well, but we're willing to talk to anyone who's taking action in some way. You've
had some pretty good guests so far. What have been some interviews that have kind of surprised you with some of the stuff that came out of them?
That's a good question. There's always something surprising in every episode, but some memorable ones are Adrian Beaton, who owns Hallie Mac and Active Booker Software. Drew Hilliard from Evolution BJJ. He's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Amazing.
Absolutely fascinating.
Did you guys throw it down at all? Or?
Oh, yeah. He got me full-on recruited.
What's your process like when you put together an episode? Are you kind of like a real scripted out guy, or do you kind of like let things just flow?
No, more so let it flow and see where the conversation goes with a few bullet points. We want to make sure that every episode we hit an actionable takeaway for our viewers. So that's something that our guest does on a daily basis that they do in their lives that they think somebody else could learn or benefit from.
How many episodes have you done so far?
I think we're at 24 now.
Oh, nice. How long
Actually, we're shooting 24 this Sunday with a local therapist.
Oh, nice. How long have you been doing it?
We've been on the go now for a little over a year.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Podcasting's such like a personal medium. Are the unexpected ways the show's kind of impacted you?
That's a good question too. I think every episode I take something personal away from every person I have a conversation with.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. There's little tidbits of gold hidden in everyone, and getting a little glimpse inside their world is why I enjoy doing podcasts.
Where do you guys record?
We record in my home, which is up on Military Road.
Yeah. Do you have a co-host as well?
Yeah, Ryan Peaton is my co-host, and he's actually just about to launch Higher Grounds co-working space, and it's just down on Duckworth Street here.
What's that all about?
So his goal with that co-working space is to bring like-minded and local businesses together so they can collaborate and have an engaging workspace.
And so people be able to, like, is it membership-based, or is it...
I don't think he's ready to release the info technically on memberships, but most likely it'll be a paid service that people and businesses will take advantage of.
Nice. Is there anything like that around town right now?
I think there's a few others, but from what I've heard from people who want to utilize those spaces, nothing that pertains to what they're specifically looking for.
Nice. Do you produce the show yourself? Like, do you do the editing and that sort of stuff?
I don't do the editing. I don't have all the skills like you do with this show. So I have an editor. His name is Riley Harnett. He's fantastic. And he's been my producer and director of photography for my last TV show as well, which was Treasure X. So he's great, and I'll go to him all the time.
Nice. And how do you guys work? Like, do you kind of work really collaboratively? Do you get together a lot to work on stuff? Or
I like to give him as much creative freedom as I can when it comes to the edits. I trust him. I know that he's very good at his job. So we'll shoot. We won't do any cuts within the episode, and then I'll hand the raw files over to him, and he'll work his magic, and he'll give me back some reels and then some YouTube content. And then we also do content that's available for mainstream production as well. So if Rogers or NTV wanted to pick it up,
nice.
We have those formats available as well.
NTV's always looking for programming, right? You never know. Absolutely. All right, let's take a quick break. From the very last time she graced us with her illuminate presence, it's Newfoundland songbird Emily Malloy with her cover of Bloom by the Paper Kites on the Hulk Caesar Show.
This is Bloom by the Paper Kites.
my lungs with sweetness, and you fill my head with you. Shall I write it in a letter? Shall I try to get down? Or you fill my head with pieces of a song I can't get out. Can I be close to you? Can I be close to Can I take you to a moment where the fields are painted gold and the trees are filled with memories of the feelings never told? When the evening pulls the sun down, the day is almost through. Oh, the whole world is sleeping. My world is you. Can I be close to you? Can I be close to you?
The Hulk Caesar Show is presented to you by our friends at the Resource Center for the Arts at the LSPU Hall. Coming this week, pack your heels and pop the bubbly. It's time to turn up the heat. And I'm in Miami, bitch. Follows 4 friends on the ultimate bachelorette weekend in the Magic City. From sun-soaked beaches to sizzling dance floors to endless laughter, mimosas, and midnight snacks. The show is a wild, feel-good celebration of friendship, freedom, and letting loose. Check it out on Friday, June 27th and Saturday, June 28th. With an early and late show both nights. For tickets and more information, visit www.lspuhall.ca. We're chatting with podcast host and producer Michael Allan. Michael, let's talk about Mainstream. What is it and how did the idea come about?
So Mainstream Media, mainstream.ca is the platform, and I'm still in the process of building it, but the idea behind that platform is basically Netflix for short films. When I go to a film festival and I watch all those beautiful films, usually there's nowhere to go. There's no hub that combines all that content together. So this platform is intended to be just that. So you go to the film festival. Otherwise, if you don't go to that person's direct Vimeo page or their YouTube page, which I think they're losing a lot of the power of the hub behind that because you have to seek them out.
Yeah.
The goal is to bring everyone together and then sheer advertisement revenue from that as well.
Have you been involved with short film before?
I've been more so in the TV world, not short films, but that is something that we want to do there as well. We want to host short film festivals. So the idea behind that, say, for example, we want to romanticize a local business location. I'm picturing a coffee shop and a beautiful cup of coffee and then the nice bokeh lights behind it. One thing that I love about New York City, for example, is that they do a fantastic job about romanticizing specific locations. And they have business locations that stay in place for such a long time. They can really do something beautiful for their city. And I'm hoping that we can do something similar here in St. John's. So go out, romanticize a local business location, make some networking contacts, and then create a beautiful film about it, and then help raise some money for that film as well.
Amazing. So how far along in the process are you?
So right now I'm still building out the user administration panel, and then I have some back-end work to do not to get too technical with it. It's a ways away. I would say I'm about midway through before I'm ready to release an MVP, which is minimal viable product.
Mm-hmm. Have you been talking with some filmmakers about what you'd like to do, or local filmmakers?
No, I haven't to date, but I think one of our next podcast guests is going to be the gentleman who runs the Nickel. So Riley, my editor, is close with that gentleman, so I'm hoping to have him on and chat a little bit more about it and what their users need.
Amazing. That'll be fun. Mm-hmm. And you're also working on a dating app with a new approach. Can you give us a little peek into what makes it different?
Yeah, so imagine a dating app where nobody sees your profile and there are no profile photos. So the intent is to combine it with Sarah Ozon's speed dating. So for example,
What's that for people who don't know?
So for anyone who doesn't know, Sarah Ozon hosts Speed Dating NL. So you would pay a ticket price that they hosted at beautiful venues like Wooden Walls Distillery. You go to this event, you're matched up with other singles. It's basically all blind dates, and the ladies switch tables, and you have 5 minutes to talk to these people. And then you can see if you have a match or not. If you have a match, you write down their name on the card, and then Sarah exchanges the numbers the day after. Okay. So it's a lot of fun. It's something that's really new and it's still growing. So the intent behind the dating app would be to pair that with an in-person venue as well. So you fill out who you are and then who your ideal match would be. And then the computer does the work. The logic works through your preferences. And then you still attend the event, but you're more likely to be paired with somebody who better matches what you're looking for.
Oh, yeah. Where'd you get the idea for that?
Well, I went to speed dating and I walked away, much like my software developer brain. I walked away and I was like, this could be so much better if only this. So then I put it into action.
Amazing. Now, a lot of people have great ideas but never act on them. What advice would you give to someone sitting on an idea they're scared to start?
That's a great question. I would say write it down. Write it down and then break it into as small steps as you can. So much so that you can't not do it. It's such a simple step. And then once the journey is started, you're on the road then.
Do you do any of the stuff that people talk about, like the thought boards or whatever you call them, or like the Trello boards, or put stuff on the wall and putting red string between it in a bunch of different ways?
I don't know if I go that hardcore with it, but I certainly do use Trello, and I'm a big fan of lists and to-do lists. More so a pen and paper person myself, but any approach that works, absolutely use it.
A collaboration can make or break a project. Who do you lean on collaboratively, and what kind of team do you build around your ideas?
For software development, that depends on the specific person and what skill I might be looking for. When it comes to taking action, the podcast, my co-host Ryan Peaton, we always get together and we have beautiful conversations, and he just knows how to make a conversation entertaining, far more entertaining than I.
Did you do a show before this one, or is this your first show together? Is this your first podcast together?
Yes, it is. Yeah. So he wasn't involved with my last TV show. That was solely a thing that I took on myself.
What was that?
That was called Treasure X, and it was basically Newfoundland Survivor. We had 10 contestants camp out in the wilderness over 10 days and compete in challenges sponsored by local businesses, all in an effort to geocache their way to a $5,000 treasure.
How'd that go?
It was great. We had two gentlemen team up, and they went to the end, and they won, and then they split the prize between them.
Where was it?
So we actually filmed that out in Maddox Cove.
Oh, yeah.
Along the East Coast trails.
Yeah. Amazing. They sent us out to Cub Camp or Beaver Camp or somewhere out around, about halfway between here and town. I can't remember where it was. And the first day we got there, they dropped the water bombers on us.
No way.
Which was terrifying.
The full water from the
water. They flew the water bomber over and dropped it on us, which maybe, I don't know, I was like 9. Maybe it wasn't really that serious, but it seemed pretty big at the time.
Yeah, sounds like
so I'm terrified of like Survivor stuff. You didn't do that, did you?
No, we didn't.
All right, excellent. All right, well, where can folks find you and your projects on the interwebs?
So if they want to find Taking Action, for example, they could go to YouTube or Spotify under Taking Action Podcast. On Instagram, it's also Taking Action Podcast as well, but we just have reels available on there.
Okay, excellent. All right, well, we'll be right back with tonight's musical presentation on the Hulk Caesar Show. Tonight's musical guest is a singer, songwriter, and saxophonist right here in the big city. She's a proud member of local bands Eastern Owl and Jazz East Big Band, and can be found as a session musician, having recorded and performed for the likes of The Burning Hell, Quote the Raven, Amelia Curran, and more. Her sophomore solo album 2024's Love Songs for Good Machines received 2 ECMA nominations, one for Jazz Recording of the Year and the other for Songwriter of the Year. We're so excited to have her here to perform with us. Natasha Blackwood, welcome to the Hulk Caesar Show.
Thanks for having me.
And
I brought a friend.
Her friend Terry Campbell is here as well. Hi, Terry.
He's going to make me look good.
Amazing.
Anyway, he's supposed to. Yeah, we'll find it.
What do you got for us first, Natasha?
We're going to play a song called Good Machines. And it's like the title track off of my record. And also, I'm used to playing with like a big old 8-piece band. And so I don't really have that many things that work for 2 people.
Amazing.
And this one does.
I love it.
So we're going to play it. I mean, I thought really, really hard and long about like what would be so meaningful.
Of course. That's we always tell you before you come on the show, make sure you think long and hard about what you're going to do.
Like make sure you stress right out.
Right out.
All the anxiety. I'm just kidding. Okay, so yeah, this is a song called Good Machines. I'm like, my keyboard stand broke and like fell apart when we came in here, so I got like a different one. And I got a pedal taped to the floor.
Using the old Costco keyboard stand.
I'm using the Costco keyboard stand on a stool. It's like, it's going to be fine. It's going to be totally fine. We're going to play a song. All right, you ready? All right, we're going to do it. if I keep on shining that grindstone, and maybe I'll surpass my warranty, and they'll call me inspiration for good machines. Oh, a whole new generation of good machines.
Amazing. Oh, it's so fun. Natasha, you got a pretty diverse musical experience, from playing multiple instruments to recently arranging a metal album. How do you describe what you do to someone who just met you?
Oh, I find it really hard to do. But I didn't write the metal album. I arranged the metal album, which means someone else wrote the songs, and then actually Terry played on that too.
Excellent.
I just wrote all the parts for all the different.
You take Terry everywhere, eh?
I mean, actually, we went to music school together. So we've been playing together for 20 years, and we were having a rehearsal for a thing a while ago, and we tried to count like all the different shows, because we both play in like cover bands or like other people's recording sessions or like whatever. And we tried to count all the things we played in together, and we just got bored. It was like, this is not even fun anymore. I'm at a paper. I don't know. We're just all over the place. But yeah, it's a good time. And he just moved into my neighborhood too, so we like walk to each other's houses and play music and stuff.
Amazing.
It's a good time. But yeah, so I arranged the music for the metal album. I just started saying like I'm a musician.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard. I played in this Joni Mitchell tribute show a couple of weeks ago.
My wife saw you. She said you were amazing.
Aw, that's so sweet. Tell her I said thanks.
I will.
She's good too. Let's be friends. But it was one of those things where it's like, it happens to me quite a bit because I play a few different instruments, where it's like, okay, we're going to, like, it's like Patty's going to play bass, and like John's going to play guitar, and like Natasha's going to figure out what is missing on all those things and then like fill those things, which is fun. Mm-hmm. But it's also like, I always end up just taking like so much stuff to the show, And then after the show, I didn't know how to answer the question. This woman was like, how many instruments do you play? And I just like stopped and like looked at her. And I was like, it depends on your definition of play. And it depends on your definition of an instrument. My friend was like, she's probably autistic. Stop it. But it's like, we were recording with Amelia Curran a little while ago, and it was like, she's like, I just need a sound that sounds like, ah. We're like, what is that then? And we're like going down to the studio. We found a bucket that made like a really good sound. And then, and there's a play, like, does that count? Like, I don't know. It's not Amelia Curran's record.
And then who judges if you're playing it good or not?
Like, I mean, we're our own harshest critics, I think. So, yeah, if you could think of any mean thing to say, like, I promise I thought of a meaner thing. But I think you just know, that like when something feels right or it doesn't. And sometimes you can't really tell why it doesn't feel right. It's like, I don't know if we're like a little bit out of tune, or we're just like a little bit at a time, or if it's just like we're just tired. But this is not it. And we're going to try again tomorrow. Maybe we need a different bucket. Like, you don't know. But it's just like looking for, I think a song is like, it's a story. Yeah. And it's like the you have to be like true to that story, and you can tell when the story feels true or not. And that's kind of what you're looking for. It's not like, oh, can I play the most notes? Can I show up? Can I sing the highest?
I can play so many notes. You believe it.
Like, can I do the highest high kick when I sing a high note or whatever? I mean, like, some people do that, and like, that's great. Like, you do you. But for me, I think it's all about just like chasing that feeling when like you're making music and it just feels right. Like everyone is locked in together, especially if there's like an audience, and then the audience is also locked in with you, and it's like almost like your hearts are all beating at the same time or something. There's something that's like just otherworldly about that. And I think, I don't know, I'll just be chasing that for the rest of my life, probably. Amazing. If I got to hit a bucket or whatever. And sometimes people are just like, can you play tin whistle? I'm just like, yeah. And then I'm just like, have to play tin whistle, and then you just figure it out. Amazing. Yeah. Your album, Love Songs for Good Machines, which is an excellent name, by the way. Thank you. Was nominated for 2 ECMA awards. What was it like making that record? It was wild, actually. What's your rating on this podcast? We're unrated. Do we swear? Oh, yeah. Here? Do we? Okay. I might bleep it out. Like, can I tell stories about like my brother shit and Deer Lake? Like, what are we at? I think we're pretty. Are we PG or like? Yeah, we're just giving her. We're just giving her. I guess. My children are probably not going to watch this. It's fine. I was always a really big Amelia Curran fan. Mm-hmm. And this new like collection of songs or whatever, and I put out one solo album. It came out like the day the province shut down during COVID, so it just like flopped in the water like everything else that came out in March 2020. Mm-hmm. And I had this collection of songs I really liked, and we were like, I'm from the west coast of the island, so I was like sitting around with my family, like playing guitars as we do, and we were talking about Silver Wolf Band had put out a record, and like I knew those guys, and I was like, and Amelia Curran produced their record. Like my family's all big Amelia Curran fans. And I was like, I could write a song. Like Amelia. Anyway, we're all like drinking in the shed as you would. So you just have like all that confidence. Like I'm gonna write her right now. And it was like this thing. And I wrote her like this like really big long thing. It's like, you don't know me, but I know you. And I have these songs. And you were a Silver Wolf Band, and we're friends. And you should produce my record. And it was one of those things where you wake up the next morning, you're like, I didn't do that, did I? I didn't do it. Like
That's how I get half my guests.
I hadn't even met her. And I was like, oh. I really did. It was like the most like anxiety ever. And then in true Amelia fashion, she like doesn't say anything for like 2 weeks. And then I was like, oh my gosh, she wrote me back. And what I had wrote her was like this really long, like barely coherent thing. It was like, here's my demos. Here's my life. We're going to be best friends or something. And she just wrote, she's like, sounds good. Let's do it. It was like, I wrote her this like really long thing. And it was really great. It was really big. We got some support from Canada Council, which was really big. So I got to, I was like, well, if that's just how it works, if you just ask the most amazing people and then maybe say yes, then let's just do that for everything. And I was like, I would love for Dwayne Andrews to play guitar on my record.
Dwayne's my beard hero.
I was like, I'm just gonna ask him. And he was like, well, sure, like let's go. And I'm like, oh my God, is this how people do stuff all the time? You just do it, and then it just happens.
That's right.
You have to pretend like to not feel like an imposter the whole time, and then eventually, I've heard, you stop feeling like an imposter. So I'm still holding out for that one. But it was pretty incredible to get to work with some really amazing musicians, and also just them having been like excited about my songs.
Totally.
Yeah, it was a huge honor, and it was really cool. But now there's this, I think it was a Duke Ellington thing. I don't know. You correct me if I'm giving incorrect jazz history or not. Or then if you don't correct me, then I'll blame him.
He's not Mike, so if he corrects you, they're not going to hear
it. It was Terry's job to correct me. He didn't do it, so what are you going to do? Bring a white guy with you everywhere. They're easy to correct. So it was like, I think it's a Duke Ellington quote that was like, what's your favorite song you've ever written? And he's like, the next one. And that's what I love creating things.
You working on something now?
Getting an idea. Yeah, all kinds of things. So I just finished a couple of Christmas songs because the publisher asked me to.
Excellent.
And apparently that's where the money's at. So I was like, sure.
Get them out now. Get them ready.
Yeah, that's what you got. Well, there's like people making Christmas movies. They're like editing them now.
Oh yeah.
So that they can like have all the marketing plan done by the summer.
We had Matt Wells on the show last year, and he does a lot of those kind of like Lifetime Christmassy movies. He loves doing them.
Yeah, because it's like you don't really have to think too hard to write a Christmas song. You're just like, not too Jesus-y, happy-go-lucky, like good times. And it's okay if it's like a little bit cliche or like whatever, because that's the joy of Christmas. You know what I mean? It's just like that unapologetic having a nice time and spoiling yourself because it's a nice thing to do. So it's okay to get like a little campy. Like some of your, the most incredible artists that will write the most mind-blowing things will like put out a couple Christmas songs that are just kind of like surface level whatever, and you're like, that is a jam. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So there's like a little bit of a creative freedom there if you're like writing Christmas songs where you don't have to feel like you have to write like the most cutting edge thing or like tell a whole new story about whatever. Just like, we're just having a good time in the snow, guys. Like
we had Valmy on last Christmas, and she sang us a couple Christmas songs. It was really nice.
Everything Valmy sings is great. She could sing me like, how much is that doggy in the window?
Oh, I'd love that. I hope she'll come on the show and play that sometime.
She could sing anything. She like stub her toe and be like, I stubbed my toe. I'd be like, oh my God. She's just got one of those voices. God, it's something.
You just signed with Simba Music. What do you hope that leads to?
I did. It's pretty cool. It's pretty, it's a little bit like intimidating, like almost a little bit, because I'm so not used to like sharing demos with anyone other than like my band who are going to play the music like with me. So I just finished a demo. He's like, write a song for this. I'm like, cool, here's the demo. He's like, sounds great. Let's send it to this guy to mix it. I was like, wait, no. Like, that's a MIDI bass. You know what I mean? Like, it's a drum machine. Like, we were supposed to go. I'm used to going and spending way too much money to go do it all with like 8 musicians, you know? So I have to like learn to like let go of things a little bit. Although it's really great that they're like, you're the boss. Like, if you want to put it out, you put it out. If you don't like the mix, like, you don't like the mix, so that's great. But it's also like, if you don't put out anything, you don't make it either.
Makes sense.
It's like, there's like a certain like, and making like a large ensemble music with really big groups is not the most like cost effective thing either. So you have to be like half reasonable. So I'm a little bit outside of my comfort zone, But Amelia always said this thing when we make this record. She's like, the song is king. Because sometimes I'd be like, I don't know about this. If it should be sticks or brushes or whatever. She's like, just like the song is king. Just like listen to it. If your gut says that's what it is, then that's what it is. So So I'm trying to think more about, because before I was kind of like a songwriter, I was arranging a lot of music for other people, like choirs and bands. Like someone wants horns for the record, or like a choir on their record, or like has this sheet music, but it's in the wrong key, and I like do it for them. And I've always kind of identified like as an arranger, like as a composer person, and I can wrangle lots of people. Like if you have an idea, I get so excited and knock over your stuff. This is like a theme of the day. Okay. But that I can get lots of people together. Like if you've got an idea, I can figure out how I can find the money, I can find the people, I can make the plan, I can make the spreadsheet, I'll put it in the calendar, I'll wrangle everyone, and I'll make it happen. And then
You come work for
always
us.
thought
You come
I
work
was
for this
like,
show.
What's that?
You should come work for this show. No, we can't.
I'm just kidding. I'm just too busy. But I'm just like I don't charge people enough, honestly. But anyway, this is a bad joke. But so I think I just needed to like. It's like my job with Simba, not my job, but like my role as like I'm a professional songwriter now, not an arranger. Yeah. So I have to be like, this is the song, like this is the lyrics, this is like the chords, and then I have to like work with the team to figure out where that's going. Is this a country song and it's going to go to Mallory Johnson? Is it going to be a Christmas song and it's going to go to Hallmark? Is it going to be a blues song? Or is it going to be like mine? We have to like figure that out together. So I need to be like a little bit more vulnerable and being like, I made a thing, and it's like, it's not fully realized, and it's, it needs to be sanded and primed and painted and, but it's also just, you have to trust other people too, that it's like they're professionals and they've been doing this for a really long time, and they know how to tell the difference between like a demo and a record. Yeah. You know how it is? Like, I don't know if I think it happens with like all creative people. If you have people in like your friends or your family who are like not creative people, you're like, I have this idea, like listen to this, and they're like, oh, but this is a bit like, it's like, cause it's a demo.
It's funny. We had Jake Nickel on last week, and Jake had a new song, Chasing the Demo, and he said as a producer, people often come in with their demo and say, hey, can we do something with this? We'll make it sound a lot better. We'll do a lot of work on it. And then he plays it for them, and they're like, I kind of like the demo.
Yeah. I put way too much work in my demos. I'm trying to learn to like not do that and like let other people do that part, so I can just like focus on the writing part. So it's a bit of it's definitely an adjustment, but I think it's an adjustment that needed to happen. I think is when it comes into like working on other people's music, there's only so much you can do to like push yourself or grow, and then it just kind of feels like you're doing the same kind of thing over and over. Yeah. So in this kind of role, I have to do something new all the time, and I have to be okay with like letting it go as an unfinished thing and then starting a new thing and think more about like the idea more so than like, it's more about a process than a product, which is a kind of a nice way to be creative, that it's like, you're not worried about making this like perfectly shiny marketable thing. You're like an idea factory. And it's a cool place to be in a world where more things are getting like automated and run by robots. It's like actually having like real creative ideas and being able to make something real and original out of nothing is actually like a real asset. So
this is kind of a bad time to mention that the show is sponsored by robots.
I mean, are they the kind of robots that clean my house? Because I like those.
They're not listening anyway.
I just don't want the ones that write songs for me.
All right, Natasha. Well, thanks to our friends at the LSPU Hall. We have time for one more song. What do you got for us?
We're going to play a new song.
Ooh, I love new songs.
It's like a sweet little song. It was like mostly came from my son, who's like the youngest of three, so he's very important, you know? And he was like, I can't believe you don't have a song for me. Like, write a song for me. And then he's so little. And I was kind of thinking about how, like, there's so much, like, ugly stuff in the world. And he's really sensitive, and he has, like, a lot of empathy about everything. He's just, like, a really sweet person. And then I want him to be, like, aware of the world, but I also don't even want to tell him everything about the world because I don't want to break his heart. You know? Like, he'll be so devastated. And there's this thing, I think, when kids watch stuff on the internet that, like, when we were little, it was, like, a child discovers this magical book and then it's a magical story. And now it's kind of like, you're born special because you are special and you're king of the world, so do something about it. You know what I mean? It's a bit of a different narrative. And I think that it puts pressure on kids to be the person who saves the world or like the superhero in a story. When really, like, it's totally okay to just like be a regular person. Just like be a nice person and be a member of your community and like contribute in your own way. So this is a little song I wrote for him, and why I find it fun to tell this story is because I showed it for him. He's like, not like a song like that. Write me a fun one with like a dance we can do on TikTok. And I'm just like, have we met? You know what I mean? Anyway, so kids are fun. And so this is a sweet little song that I wrote for my son Leo. And I think he'll appreciate it someday. Not yet, but it's nice to put it out there anyway. We'll see. All right, you ready? You gonna sing with me, the little thing? You guys can sing too. Okay, so when we go, we are, you can sing it too. Just with us. You'll see it come. Follow Terry. He's the boss. Yeah. We are. See, you're killing it. We are. It feels like the world's gone crazy. Bracing ourselves for a fight. Two things are true, 'cause it's just me and you, and I'm looking at my world tonight. Some days are harder than others. Some doors won't have a key. Don't let it brew, baby, you can still choose to rise up like the sun in the east. When you look back, love, I hope you will find that the good days and bad days were at the same time. In a world full of really hard stuff, you are enough. You can move mountains and love. I know that you could go far and do us a favor and be who you are. We Some nights are tossing and turning. There's still morning to come. Just because something made you feel like nothing don't mean you can't have any fun. When there's a call of a siren, chin up, pull up your boots. Dance with the creatures that drown out the features of faces who look down at you. But when you look back, love, I hope you will find that the good days and bad days are at the same time. And stay soft when the going gets tough. You are enough. You can move mountains and love. I know that you could go far, but do us a favor and be who you are. You can move mountains and love. I push them so wide and so far, but hey, it's okay if they stay where they are. If you're who you are. It's a cue, guys. Come on. We are who we are. We are.
Awesome. That's a nice song.
Thank you.
Where can folks find you on the information superhighway?
NatashaBlackwood.com. Speaking of usernames that you're surprised that you have, I actually have. Judd told me when he designed my website. I didn't believe him.
Nice.
I'm on the socials as Natasha Blackwood or Natasha Blackwood Music. And yeah, I'm all around. Want to
Excellent.
shoot me along? Come say hi.
Excellent. Thanks so much for performing for us.
Yeah. Yeah, my pleasure.
You guys going to play a little question game with us? Terry, you going to play too?
Sure, I can.
Excellent. All right, it's now time to play everyone's favorite game of questions, Caesar's Casual Conversations with tonight's guests, Michael Allan, Natasha Blackwood, and Terry Campbell. We have refilled the commemorative E.T. the extraterrestrial hat with questions. Now, we've gone through many iterations of the hat.
Win the hat? I want to win the hat.
Don't win the hat, no, unfortunately.
Sorry.
We've gone through many iterations of questions. The questions all came from the machines, you see. We asked the machines a while ago to give us 100 questions to ask people in rapid-fire questions. We went through them all. They weren't bad. Then we asked the machine for 100 more with the same prompt, and the second 100 weren't as great as the first 100. So then we asked for more. There were a lot of ands and ors. So then we asked for more thought-provoking questions. We used those for one show, and it was way too much. So now this is the second week of sillier questions. We asked the same prompt. These kind of questions, but sillier. So draw a question from the hat, give it a quick answer. We'll all give a quick answer. We'll all take a turn drawing one. So, Michael, you can go first.
Okay.
If you don't like the question, you can throw it on the floor and take another one.
Just like literally.
What's your favorite meal to cook at home? I'm going to have to say black beans, rice, avocado, tomatoes, and maybe a little bit of corn from time to time.
Oh, yeah. Natasha?
Sounds good. Jake's dinner for like the big family.
Ooh,
and, like, Christmas and stuff.
very nice.
Have over a crowd, yeah.
Right on.
Terry?
I love making homemade pizza.
Ooh, what do you put on your pizza?
So I usually make veggie pizza. Yeah, so like I'll do like the veggie sausage and all that stuff. Yeah, tons of cheese.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. I've been trying to lay off it though. I'm trying to be healthy. So
Yeah, nice. I like.
For my Jake's dinner then.
Oh, I like
you win,
bit of Jig's dinner too. I like to make a little spaghetti, you know. I usually use bottled sauce and the meat and stuff, but I just like to make a little bit of spaghetti and like stand there like I'm Polly and Goodfellas, you know, and cut the garlic in real tiny strips. Yeah. All right, awesome. You pass the hat over there if you don't mind, and we'll get Natasha to pull one from the hat. We got that hat from Pop Caps. I don't know if you know Pop Caps. A couple of years ago, he was selling all his Pops hats on Instagram.
Okay.
We bought that one.
If you could meet your future self, what would you ask them?
Ooh.
I'm confused by the order. Do we go with you?
You go first.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's me.
Yeah.
Wait, oh my gosh, that's a really tough question. Like, should I get another dog? How many dogs is too many dogs before my husband leaves me?
It's a good question.
If I get another puppy, how much more complicated is it going to make my life? Anyway, that's
Oh, yeah. Terry?
that's the first thing I thought of.
Man, this is a tough one. I feel like there's like 100 questions that are going through my mind.
Yeah.
I think the one thing I would probably ask is, do you still feel as good as you do right now, or as I do? You know, that's how I hope I maintain. So that if I can maintain that, I'd be pretty happy with
I like it.
yourself.
Excellent.
That's pretty deep.
Michael?
I think I would ask myself, do I still have the relationships I want to have in my life? That's a big one for me. Building community and keeping good people around.
Excellent. I'd ask myself, do I ever find my brown glasses? I know they're sitting somewhere like on top of a speaker, but I've been looking forever, and I'd like to know if I find them.
Did you look in your all your winter coat pockets?
This has been past winter and summer gone. It's a full year gone, missing now, but they're in my house somewhere. I have a CD. I have a CD of pictures from when I first got a digital camera in like 2001. You know, you get a digital camera for the first time. You take pictures of all kinds of crazy crap. I took pictures all summer, put them on one of these fancy new CD-ROMs all the kids were talking about, and then hid it at I live with my cousin in downtown Vancouver, and I hid it somewhere in his apartment for safekeeping. He still lives in that place like 20 years later. We've never found that CD of pictures. It is in his apartment somewhere.
But you will find it. It's
Oh
like the
boy,
longer
it's going to be
takes, the better
amazing.
It's going to be.
So many pictures on there.
Yeah.
Terry?
Sure. All right.
Again, if you don't like the questions, just throw it on the
That's
floor.
okay. That's all right.
There hasn't been enough
no fear.
ceremonious throwing.
I do it all the
things.
time.
I don't think.
I'm the only one who really does it.
What's the first thing you notice when meeting someone new?
Ooh.
I think for me, I don't know. I think one of the things that I notice the most is just how warm they are. Like if they have, if there's just like an openness to them. So sometimes you meet somebody and they're really shut down, they're really closed off. I know for me, like it's funny I'm saying that because I'm really shy at times. But then, I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I try to be warm anyway and friendly to people. But yeah, I don't know.
Excellent. Tasha, don't put it back in the hat, please.
Oh,
Throw it ceremoniously. Right? Read the room.
yeah.
I notice people's eyes. You know, I find you can tell a lot by a person by their eyes. Like if they have like kind eyes or like mean eyes. Like sometimes you can just kind of tell. I don't know. Like there's like that immediate vibe that you can only get from like real eye contact. And I struggle. I have ADHD and I find it hard to make like eye contact for like a really long period of time or whatever. So I get that initial read the vibe. Are you cool? You're cool. We're friends now. Cool. I'm good. And I might not look at you again. And
Excellent.
it's for like 5 to 7 years.
Excellent. Michael?
I think I would say their presence, their confidence in how they carry themselves overall.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'd say smile. I think if I see someone smiling when they're here, we had Liam Peacock on the show about a month ago from Midnight Watch. He was here doing his solo stuff, and he was just having so much fun over there, playing his guitar and singing his songs. You could tell, like, just the smile on his face when he's singing, and like see that sort of thing, and like that makes me feel really strongly about somebody. I think.
Yeah.
I'll get that hat back over here.
Okay, pass it on the line.
Give it a one.
The hat is actually a good thing for this. You got a little handle.
Right? It's very nice. Yeah. It's I think it's the original from when the ET
If it
originally
goes
came out.
missing, it's probably
Wow.
with your glasses and your CD-ROM somewhere.
Yeah.
Definitely not on my head.
What's a skill you think everyone should have? I think a skill that everybody should have is a little skill I call turn it off and turn it back on again, because I'm the tech person in my life and everybody's life. So anybody has problems, they always come to me. And 95% of your problems are solved by turning it off and turning it back on again. So try that first. It's a good skill to learn. Michael?
Absolutely. I'm going to say basic survival skills and tying knots. I think that will always come in handy.
Yeah, I used to work on the dockyards when I was a teenager in BC, filling boats up with gas, and I learned all the great knots for tying boats up.
That's a good one. I was in Brownies, so like, yeah, Die Hard Survivalist is true. It's the apocalypse, so we should probably get ready.
Yeah.
But on a lighter note, I think everyone should have the skill of like active listening. Like really listening to someone else talk and like really letting them finish and like process what they're saying. I find a lot of times in conversations, especially with new people, it's like we're listening to respond, but like not even really taking in what the person is saying. And I think we miss a lot of magical moments thinking about how we are in the situation rather than like really taking in like what the other person has given to you.
Yeah.
I'd actually go with being able to say no. That's one I learned the hard way.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think a lot of people have trouble with that one.
Yeah.
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 Especially arts people.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like, got to take the gigs.
Yeah,
Maybe there won't
that's
be
it.
a next
You say
gig.
yes to all
Yeah,
gigs.
gigs.
Next thing you know, you're drowning in gigs.
Yeah.
You gotta learn to say no sometimes.
Seems like there's a fine line when it comes to gigs, though. There's either not enough or way too many.
That's it. That's really it.
What's that? There's a cliche saying about that, isn't there? Rains it pours, but not that like that. I'll remember.
Yeah,
as soon as
remember.
I walk out of here.
Well,
I'll remember when I met you and what the saying is.
It'll all come back to you at some
Yeah.
point.
I'll be like, and this is where your glasses are.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right, that's about all the time we have for tonight. Michael Allan, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Natasha Blackwood is a wonderful performance, and Terry Campbell, thank you for joining us. And with your band instrument, I guess that was funny that I called it a band instrument.
It was cute. No, it was dance.
Yeah, that's all good.
You got those fancy
Yeah.
ear headphones
Yeah.
going on your head
Yeah,
too,
right?
right?
Woo.
My God, we're all pals now. Huh?
Man, oh man.
Loves it.
You got something to, I got to get your guest gifts, I guess. This is where I get you signed this after, and we'll put it on the old autograph wall. So when I'm an old man and nurses bring up my autographs, I'll be like, this is the time Michael was on my show, and Natasha was, and she brought Terry. And I'll have all my memories. And we got a gift for you. Going to pass these down here. This is our show's zine. This is volume 3. It's volume 3 of scenes from my 1996 high school agenda. This one covers the day I went to the Avalon Mall in 1995. I skipped school and I took my camera and took pictures of people working in the mall. I told them I worked for the Telegram, even though I had a disposable camera. And I took pictures of people working at the mall.
Cute.
And for some reason, I developed those pictures and put them in my agenda, and now they're in your hands.
Oh my God.
There you go. And
This
there's
is like the best gift I've ever received
and there's a
in my entire life.
There's a QR code in the middle. If you scan it, it'll take you to a little online app that has a bunch of songs that Emily's played on the show in the past. So
Amazing.
Little treat in there for you.
God, Music World. Sam, the record.
Isn't that
man.
amazing?
This is actually gold. and I'm
Stitches
so
is in there. I had
pleased.
so many awesome striped Stitches shirts. Amazing.
Stitches. Yeah, so good.
All right, well, you got something to say? Hulk@hulkshow.com. For Michael, Natasha, Terry, the absent Emily, and myself, I'm the Hulkster. Thanks for watching The Hulk Caesar Show.